Yeah, welcome back, students. In the last lecture, we have studied about kingdom Monera. Monera includes all different types of bacteria, lower as well as higher. Now, this is a question which deals with useful and harmful bacteria. So, let us first study which are the useful bacteria. See, most of the bacteria are decomposers. What they do is they break down the larger molecules into simple molecules or minerals. So let us take those examples. One is lactobacillus. Lactobacillus is a bacteria which helps in curdling of milk. Exotobacter, it helps in nitrogen fixation. As I told you in the earlier lecture, nitrogen fixation means these bacteria will trap the nitrogen from the atmosphere and will convert it into nitrites and nitrates. These are the salts of nitrogen which are made available to the plants because plants cannot take directly the atmospheric oxygen. Then comes streptomyces. It is used in antibiotic production such as streptomycin, which is used as an antibacterial medicine. Methanogens, production of methane gas, that is the biogas from the dung, Pseudomonas species, and Alcanoborax, Bolcumensis. These bacteria, they have ability to destroy the pyridines and other chemicals. So it is used to clear the oil spills. Oil spills, you all understand? See, usually in the trawlers, जो बड़े बड़े boats होते हैं, उसमें से oil leak out होता है in the sea. So to remove those oil or to digest the oil, these are certain bacteria which are used. Then come to harmful bacteria, disease causing bacteria. Salmonella typhi causes typhoid. Vibrio cholera causes cholera. Mycobacterium tuberculosis is causes tuberculosis, that is TB. Clostridium tetani, it causes tetanus. Clostridium species, food poisoning. So these are certain examples of useful and harmful bacteria. See, there's a diagram for cyanobacteria which you all have to draw in your notebooks. It's a label diagram for cyanobacteria called as noster. Now, kingdom Monera, as we have studied, it includes archbacteria and eubacteria. When you consider archbacteria, all these are the primitive bacteria which have halophiles, thermophiles, that is thermoacidophiles and methanogens. Eubacteria, which is higher bacteria, includes autotrophs, heterotrophs. In autotrophs, we come across photosynthetic autotrophs, chemosynthetic autotrophs. Heterotrophs are parasitic and saprophytic. Now, in your exams, you may get a question like, give diagrammatic representation of kingdom Monera. So, classification of kingdom Monera can be diagrammatically represented like this. Okay, so this chart as well you have to draw in your notebooks. Now, in kingdom Monera, as we have studied just before, that there are bacteria which can tolerate extreme salt. So those bacteria which are found in extreme salty areas are called halophiles. Hot springs, जहाँ पे गर्म पानी होता है, thermoacidophiles, and those which can tolerate a marshy atmosphere, moist and all. It's called methanogen. Moist area में जो मिलते हैं उनको बोलेंगे methanogens. Archbacteria have different cell wall for their survival in the extreme conditions. Methanogens are present in the gut of the ruminants. Ruminants are cattle, cow, buffalo. के gut यानी intestine में methanogens होते हैं. They produce methane gas, that is biogas from the dung of these animals. तो biogas production के लिए ये जो methanogens है which are present in the intestine and also present in the cow dung is useful. You can see halophiles, ये कौन से हैं जो salty areas में मिलेंगे. Thermoacidophile जो hot water springs यानी they can tolerate high temperature, and methanogens are found in the gut of ruminants, that is cow and buffaloes. Then when you come to eubacteria, these are the higher bacteria, true bacteria. They have got a rigid cell wall and a flagellum so that they can move. Flagellum is a part of their body which helps them in motion. They include autotrophs, photoautotrophs and chemoautotrophs, means photosynthetic and chemosynthetic. Photosynthetic can prepare their food in presence of light, and chemosynthetic can prepare their food in presence of chemicals. And others are heterotrophs which cannot prepare their food. Now, when you come to photosynthetic autotrophs, they include cyanobacteria. What are the characteristics? Let us see. These are the examples: Anabaena, Nostoc, Oscillatoria. These are the examples of photosynthetic autotrophs. They have chlorophyll A, similar to that of green plants, so that they can prepare their food. यूनिसेलुलर है, कोलोनियल है, फिलामेंटस है, बॉडी इज फिलामेंटस, फिलामेंट लाइक, रिबन लाइक. They are marine or terrestrial algae. The colonies are generally surrounded by gelatinous sheath. यानी इनका जो कॉलोनी होता है, बंच होता है, they are surrounded by a gelatinous यानी sticky covering. They often form blooms in the polluted water bodies. Blooms यानी क्या? Collection of bubbles. Some of them fix atmospheric nitrogen in the specialized cells called heterotrophs. Now, as before, I've told you that these bacteria they can fix atmospheric nitrogen. यानी नाइट्रोजन फिक्सेशन ये प्रॉपर्टी उनमें है. तो नाइट्रोजन फिक्सेशन के लिए they have got specialized cells, and those specialized cells are called as heterocyst. As you can see, this is anabana, and in this anabana this is a part which is called as heterocyst. Same you can see in case of oscillatoria. Then in the other diagram जो nostoc देखा है हमने, this is called as heterocyst. This is the area where nitrogen fixation takes place. Nostoc, anabana, these are the examples for photosynthetic autotrophs. Then come to chemosynthetic autotrophs. The examples are green sulfur bacteria, purple sulfur bacteria. Okay, these are the two simple examples which you can take. They oxidize inorganic substances, nitrites, nitrates, ammonia को oxidation वो करते हैं and use the released energy for ATP production. They help in recycling nutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus, iron, sulfur. इन सब के recycling के लिए ये use होता है. And what is the chemical used by them? Hydrogen sulfide. जैसे light के presence में food prepare करेंगे तो autotrophs है. If they prepare food in the presence of hydrogen sulfide, then they are called as chemosynthetic autotrophs. Then come to heterotrophic bacteria. Even they are present in abundance in the nature. Many such types are there. The majority of them are decomposers. That is, they cannot prepare their food. They are present on dead decaying material. Heterotrophic bacteria, what impacts do they have on the human affairs? See, they are used to make curd from the milk. Lactobacillus, they come under heterotrophic. Production of antibiotics, streptomyces, fixing nitrogen in legume roots, rhizobium. Some are pathogens causing diseases. We have seen many examples of them. Cholera, typhoid, tetanus, citrus canker. These are certain diseases which are caused by bacteria. So these are the examples of heterotrophic bacteria. Some are useful, some are harmful. Lactobacillus, Rhizobium, Vibrio cholerae, Salmonella typhi. These are certain examples for heterotrophic bacteria. Along with the examples, you have to write down this in your notebooks. Then come to reproduction in kingdom Monera. That is, in all bacteria, they reproduce by fission, either binary fission or triple fission. Fission means a body of bacteria is divided into two, and then each part is going to form a new bacteria. This is called as fission. एक बैक्टीरिया का बॉडी दो तीन पार्ट में डिवाइड होता है and every part will then form a new. In some bacteria, they produce spores. They also reproduce by a sort of sexual reproduction where DNA transfer takes place from one bacteria to another. This is the process of sexual reproduction which takes place in bacteria. Okay, so if there is DNA transfer from one bacterium to another bacterium, in this way reproduction or the number of bacteria can be increased. Then come to mycoplasmas. Mycoplasmas are also included under kingdom Monera. You can see the structure of mycoplasmas here. They have a cover of lipoproteins, DNA is present, ribosome, RNA, and some of the metabolites. These are the organisms without a cell wall. They don't have a cell wall, they just have a plasma membrane or a cell membrane present. They are the smallest living cells known. They can survive without oxygen, and many are pathogenic in animals and plants. Pathogenic means they can cause diseases in animals and plants. Okay, now next is kingdom Protista. After kingdom Monera is kingdom Protista. Kingdom Protista includes all single-celled eukaryotes, means all unicellular eukaryotic organisms. They have got a well-defined nucleus and all other membrane-bound cell organelles. Some do have flagella or cilia for locomotion. Protists are primarily aquatic. You will say that they are a link with plants, animals, and fungi. Means you have plant-like protist, animal-like protist, and fungi-like protist. They reproduce asexually and sexually. Okay, sexually they reproduce by cell fusion and zygote formation. You can take many examples out of it. Now see, kingdom Protista include these classes. Number 1, chrysophytes, dinoflagellates, euglenoids, slime mold, protozoans. These are chrysophytes. Like these structures you find in dinoflagellates. These green color organisms are called euglenoids. Slime molds are these which are present on dead decaying material. And protozoans are these like amoeba and paramecium. Okay, so these are different classes of kingdom Protista. Now, kingdom Protista may number 1 class is chrysophytes. These chrysophytes are found in freshwater and marine environments. You will say that they are microscopic, they can float passively in water currents. So they all are called as planktons. If they are animals, called as zooplanktons. If they are plants, they are known as phytoplanktons. Most of them are photosynthetic. It includes diatoms and golden algae called as desmids. So these are different diatoms having different shapes. They come under chrysophytes. These are golden algae which are also called as desmids. Okay, so all chrysophytes are either found in fresh or marine water. They can tolerate high water currents. They are photosynthetic. Examples are diatoms and golden algae known as desmids. Diatoms, they usually have siliceous cell walls, that is cell wall made up of silica, mud, okay, which forming two thin overlapping shells, one above the other, like the soap box, soap ke box ki tarah. One part is down and other part is closed upon it. Diatoms are the chief producers in the oceans, that is they can prepare their own food. You can see the structure is like this. Okay, it has got two parts, one above the other, like the soap case. They have siliceous cell walls like that of a soap case, and the cell wall deposit of diatoms are over billions of years. In their habitat is called diatomaceous earth. अगर इसका cell wall deposit होता है, when the diatoms die, they remain at the bottom of the sea in this manner. It's called diatomaceous earth, and that is used in polishing, filtration of oils, and in syrups. Okay, food grade diatomaceous earth. It is also nutritious. Mostly marine and photosynthetic. Dinoflagellates, it's the second type, which are mostly marine and photosynthetic. They have got different colors. You can see yellow, green, brown, blue, red. Okay, depending upon the pigments present inside them. The cell wall has a stiff cellulose plates. Okay, hard cellulose plates are present on the upper surface. This is about the second class called as dinoflagellates. You can see here they have got two flagella. One lies longitudinally and the other transverse. Okay, these are the flagellum which are present in dinoflagellate. This diagram you all have to draw in your notebooks. Red dinoflagellates, you can see it is called as goniolax. Okay, because of the presence of this, especially in the Atlantic oceans, they show red tides. The water is red in color because of the deposition of these dinoflagellates on the surface. They release toxins that usually kill the marine animals like fishes. The second class in the third class in kingdom Protista is euglenoids. Euglenoids are usually found in fresh water, which is in stagnant water, that is the water which does not flow. Instead of cell wall, they have a protein-rich layer called as pellicel. This is the structure of euglena. It gives flexibility to the body. They have two flagella, one long and other short. Okay, this diagram is also very important. Euglenoids are usually photosynthetic in nature in presence of light. So in presence of light, they are photosynthetic. In absence of light, they are heterotrophs. Okay. Then comes class 4, slime molds. Slime molds are all saprophytic protists. Saprophytic means you do find them on decaying twigs and leaves. That is on the dead decaying material. In suitable conditions, you find them in aggregation called as plasmodium. The aggregation of the slime molds is called as plasmodium, which is spread over the several feet. You can see. Okay, it is largely spread. Slime molds, and under favorable conditions, they differentiate and they form fruiting bodies bearing spores. See here, these are called as spores. It is usually seen in unfavorable conditions. Spores have true walls, they are highly resistant and they may survive for many years. And they are usually dispersed by the air currents, and so that the new slime mold grows on the part where it falls. तो ये रिप्रोडक्शन के लिए इंपॉर्टेंट है. They spread to the other areas by means of spores. The last class here is protozoans. They are heterotrophs, some are parasites, some are predators. They are the primitive relatives of animals. So protozoans are called as animal-like protists. We have amoeboid protozoans, flagellated protozoans, ciliated protozoans, and sporozoans. Okay, amoeboid is this, amoeba. Flagellated, you'll find showing flagella. Ciliated like that of paramecium, and then the sporozoans which have got spores present in it. So these are the 4 different groups of protozoans. Let us see the number 1 is called amoeboid protozoans. They are usually found in freshwater, seawater. You all are very familiar with amoeba. They have pseudopodia present, that is a false feet, which is meant for movement and for capturing of food. Marine forms have silica shells on their surface. Those amoeba which are found in marine water, they have silica shells, silica mud covering on their body. Examples of parasites is ant amoeba is an example of a parasite which causes a disease called as amoebiasis. Then flagellated protozoans, the example is trypanosoma. They are free-living, parasitic. They causes a disease called as sleeping sickness. Okay. Then next is ciliated protozoans. The example is paramecium. The diagram for the paramecium is important here. Okay, they actively move along with their cilia. They have a gullet, that is the cavity that opens to outside. Due to the movement of cilia, the food and the water will enter inside their gullet, that is inside their mouth. So the diagram for paramecium is important here. The last is sporozoans. They have an infectious spore-like stage in their life cycle. Example is Plasmodium, which causes malaria. This is an example of a sporozoan type of protista. Okay, so these are the different classes of kingdom protista. So by now we have completed with 2 kingdoms, kingdom Monera and kingdom protista. Okay, so let us stop here for today.